so good to be back here in South Carolina, home of the Gamecocks.
The iron Keyshawn swords it from the weak side, however, and flushes that down.
There it is.
Driven hard, the Gamecocks will take the series against their rival.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Gamecock Insider. I'm your host, Derek Scott. On today's show, we've got coverage of Gamecock baseball as their season is underway officially and finally. For Gamecock fans, it always seems like a long wait to get baseball season started. We will take a look back at the man who led this program. We'll also be taking a look forward at the new coaching staff, and we'll also visit with the new athletics director here at the University of South Carolina, Jeremiah Donati. Lots to get into. We start with our injury report. It's brought to you, as always, by our friends at Prisma Health, the official sports medicine partners of the Gamecocks. We just found out on the baseball front that Eli Jerzembeck, a big part of the pitching staff, plans for this season. Unfortunately, back on the disabled list. Eli just coming back after missing all of the last season, but he's on the shelf to begin the year. Will be out opening weekend as well as probably the second weekend of the season, according to head coach Paul Maneri. And that is the injury report brought to you by Prisma Health. Now, as we mentioned, Ray Tanner is, of course, the architect of so much of Gamecock baseball success over the years. First as the head coach of the two-time national champions, but also as the athletic director, and just as important, the man who had the vision to build Founders Park. His fingerprints are all over the Gamecock baseball program. And just this past weekend, as he begins his next phase of his career, that being as a special assistant to the university president, Ray's name was officially put on a field that people always thought of, really, as Ray Tanner Field. Now it's official. It's Ray Tanner Field. And the impact he's had on Gamecock athletics, well, it's unmistakable.
Life is about choices. Every day, you got a choice to make.
The wait is over.
You look yourself in the mirror and you go, okay, what's it gonna be?
The Gamecocks are the national champions.
He's the guy. When I think about Coach Tanner, he's done nothing but great things for this program.
Back-to-back national titles.
I coached, I was an athletic director.
Ray defined what an athletic director at the University of South Carolina did.
What I've had a chance to experience at the University of South Carolina is the best it can be. It's forever to thee, and you can't write a better script. We all dream about this. One day to be in this situation is so hard to get to, but I'm extremely proud and happy.
Pretty amazing career Ray Tanner's put together over the many decades he spent here in Columbia at the University of South Carolina. We're back with more of Gamecock Insider in just a moment from Learfield.
Gamecock Insider is brought to you by Prisma Health, the official healthcare provider of the Gamecocks, and by Backstreet's Grill. Join us every Thursday at Backstreet's Grill on Divine Street, where Carolina calls from 6 to 7 p.m. Visit backstreetsgrill.com to learn more about their unique food and drink options.
I know what it takes to build a winning team, and I see that shining brightly every day in our long-standing partnership with Prisma Health. As our official team physicians, Prisma's commitment to helping our players achieve their best gives us an advantage every time we take the court. Prisma is illuminating a better view of health from every angle for all of our Gamecock athletes and for the communities across South Carolina and beyond. There's nobody our team trusts more, as together we see a healthy, hopeful way forward.
Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP experience this baseball season. Visit usccontest.com and register for your chance to be Cocky's Game Day guest. Winners will get a special invitation to a game, an autographed baseball and ball cap, 2 premium tickets, a trip to the radio booth, and more. Visit usccontest.com to register today. Cocky's Game Day guest is brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance, here for all your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
They say home is where the heart is, and that's never been more true than it is right here.
Right now, in Colonial Life Arena. Colonial Life reminds us to stand together, no matter what.
And to lift each other up, both in support and celebration.
And the Gamecocks win.
So, if you're a Colonial Life policyholder,
business owner, community partner,
or a fellow fan,
thank you.
Because you make this house
Our home.
Sound and Images has been providing the Midlands and South Carolina with professional audio-visual services for over 40 years. Now we're home to one of the most advanced venue and meeting spaces in the state. Experiencing the latest in video conferencing, live streaming, and virtual presentations at the new Sound and Images Business Center. We have space for every need, from smaller personal rooms to large rooms for conferences and events. Conveniently located just a few minutes from downtown. Elevate your AV and call Sound and Images today.
Welcome back to Gamecock Insider, everybody. I'm Derek Scott. We just looked back at some history of Gamecock baseball in our last segment, of course, with Ray Tanner, the architect of so much success here at the University of South Carolina, especially with the baseball program. But now it's time to look forward. There's a new coaching staff in town, Paul Maneri, joined by a number of new faces on that staff, not the least of which is his new pitching coach and chief recruiter, Terry Rooney, and we had him mic'd up.
Like, confidence is an action, okay? Don't let the result, like, of what happens out here dictate how you present yourself. You like that with the pregame? Okay. Or what, huh? You got the Red Bull and the Gatorade? Do you need some? I'll get it for you. Huh? Okay. Oh, guys, like a reality TV show here. Got a blitz. Huh?
Got the whole village in here.
Yeah, I got a lot of guys up today. Hey, listen, a couple things, all right? First of all, hey, like, great job. You got us out the field and you got 0. Like, that's all that matters, okay? I know, like we talked about the other day, you can address the rubber, you know what I mean, as you're waiting. Like, you can do this, okay? But literally, you're coming on the way down as it's coming in, you know what I mean? So just take your time, okay? Working quick's a great thing. It's the best thing that there is. Like, when you got 2 outs and a man on second base, there's no rush.
Mine's actually elite this year.
I don't know, what is it? What is it?
Delta Donut.
I don't know. I probably know. Would I know the song? I mean, I don't like to boast about anything, but I enjoy like one-hit wonders. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like Aha. Ever heard of Aha? Take on Me. Good job. Way to get in there. Way to get in there. Let's do this right here. Come on. Close it off right here. Close it off. Positive reinforcement from 2 outs. Let's go. Hey, great job, Tay, man. Good job. We went in last time, so you can get to the glove side a little bit. There you go. Good. What? Yeah, it's like a reality TV show here. Hope the move button. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Remember that, man. Like, confidence is a choice. The guys who exude poise and exude confidence all the time, 1,000% are the best guys. They don't let the outcome affect like what they look like. So just remember that, man. Confidence is a choice. But a really good day today for a lot of guys out there, man. A great way for some of you guys and a real positive to set the foundation and the tone for the rest of the way. It was a hell of a job.
Time for our Terminix Pest Player of the Week, and we're taking a look at Gamecocks softball, which opened its season with an undefeated weekend. The table setter, Quincy Lalilo, who led off for this team throughout the weekend and hit over 600. She was an on-base machine in helping the Gamecocks to a 5-0 start that moved them into the nation's top 25. So congratulations to Quincy, and thanks to our partners at Terminix. And we're back with more of Gamecock Insider in just a moment from Learfield.
Lease a new 2024 Toyota Tacoma SR5 for just $379 a month for 39 months. Toyota, let's go places.
What does farm to table mean to you? Fresher, tastier food? Sitting down with family and friends at local restaurants? Sure, but thanks to South Carolina farmers and chefs, you can enjoy farm to table anywhere. That's because when you buy certified SC, you're supporting South Carolina farmers and getting locally grown food that's perfect for whatever table. So choose local, choose fresh. It's a matter of taste.
They say home is where the heart is, and that's never been more true than it is right here.
right now in Colonial Life Arena. Colonial Life reminds us to stand together no matter what.
And to lift each other up, both in support and celebration.
And the Gamecocks win!
So, if you're a Colonial Life policyholder,
business owner, community partner,
or a fellow fan,
thank you.
Because you make this house
our home.
Sound and Images has been providing the Midlands and South Carolina with professional audio-visual services for over 40 years. Now we're home to one of the most advanced venue and meeting spaces in the state. Experiencing the latest in video conferencing, live streaming, and virtual presentations at the new Sound and Images Business Center. We have space for every need, from smaller personal rooms to large rooms for conferences and events. Conveniently located just a few minutes from downtown. Elevate your AV and call Sound and Images today.
Good hard work has earned Faith Koo the title of Colonial Life Academic Athlete of the Week. A member of the women's swim team, Faith is an international business major at South Carolina. This week's Academic Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Colonial Life. Colonial Life, the benefits of good hard work.
1-0, skied to left center field, air back to the wall, touch them all!
There it is, how about that?
Walk-off home run for Brooke Blankenship, and for the second straight game and the second straight day, the Gamecocks walk off the Cavaliers.
That's your Sansbury. Did you see that play? Brooke Blankenship with the walk-off home run for Gamecock softball in an opening weekend that was filled with some exciting comebacks to help them get out of the gate, 5-0. Gamecocks Plus has been the home of a wonderful series the last 2 years called The Follow that focused on the Gamecock baseball program from a number of different perspectives. Well, The Follow is back for year 3. You need to head on over to Gamecocks Plus and check that out. And right now, let's take a quick sneak peek.
Baseball in South Carolina are synonymous. Its walls still echo from the winds of a gloried past.
Hit in the air, a shot towards left, this one's gone! 3-run shot by Christian Walker with 2 outs.
In recent years, though, its legacy has grown dormant. But as the Palmetto welcomes an unfamiliar flurry, Columbia embraces for a new era, one with championship pedigree.
I've told our players throughout my career that I care more about how you approach the game and how you treat people than I do winning or losing. Because if I recruit the right players, coach them the right way, inspire and motivate them, make them care about the right things, the winning is going to take care of itself. I am the happiest guy in the world that I'm having this opportunity to be here at the University of South Carolina. I can't wait for us to get out there on the field and play before this passionate fan base and see if we can bring back a little bit more of the pride that was here at one time.
Amidst Founders Park and its unwavering patrons, baseball will be played. Is this the year we make it back to Omaha? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But, like I said, baseball and South Carolina are synonymous. And the game of spring begins today.
I know what it takes to build a winning team, and I see that shining brightly every day in our long-standing partnership with Prisma Health. As our official team physicians, Prisma's commitment to helping our players achieve their best gives us an advantage every time we take the court. Prisma is illuminating a better view of health from every angle for all of our Gamecock athletes and for the communities across South Carolina and beyond. There's nobody our team trusts more, as together we see a healthy, hopeful way forward.
Lease a new 2024 Toyota Tacoma SR5 for just $379 a month for 39 months. Toyota, let's go places.
You've never been afraid to put in the work. The extra early, extra late, extra work. Because you understand that education is the key that unlocks everything. Better pay, better hours, better opportunities, a better you. And playing the lottery is no different. Getting educated before you play gives you the tools you need to be a better player. Like knowing when to play and when to take a rain check. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to be a better player.
Welcome back to Gamecock Insider, everybody. Jeremiah Donati is the new athletics director here at the University of South Carolina. An opportunity for you to get to know him better? Well, it exists on Gamecocks Plus right now. It's a new podcast. It's called Gamecock Talk with Jeremiah Donati. It is hosted by our own Brad Muller. Let's take a sneak peek at episode 1.
Want to hear it straight from the top without cliches and coaches speak? Tune in for the latest podcast, Gamecock Talk, with South Carolina Athletics Director Jeremiah Donati. No fluff, just an easy conversation about all things Garnet and Black. Let's go.
All right, Jeremiah, you've been on the job for a little over a month now. How's it going?
It's going well. Learning a lot. Every day is kind of a new day. It's a new adventure, if you will, but it's been great. I've really enjoyed getting to know the staff and the coaches, the student athletes. We just had an all coaches meeting a moment ago, and so there's just so much going on. But I'm doing my best to kind of take it all in, and there's a lot of new. You're right, because when you've been someplace 14 years, like I was at TCU. You're kind of learning everything over, but I'm trying to catch on with names. I told people, I said, if I forget your name once, give me a pass. Twice, okay. If I forget it 3 times, then you can chide back. You can get upset about that. So I'm still learning.
When Coach Spurrier was here, if he didn't know your name, he said, "My man." Hey, my man. So you just go with that.
I was joking with someone. All the things you could call someone: buddy, pal, bro. My man, there's a lot you can like. Yeah. I can go on for days with those. So I built in a little safety net there.
Well, I know the important thing. Your family's not here yet, right?
Nope,
okay.
Not yet.
So you found a place to eat, found a place to do laundry. What's going on?
Well, found a place to eat, and Charles Bloom, who shares a suite with me, he gives me lots of pointers. So I'm finding my way around town. That's kind of a nice thing, so I can kind of scout all those things out before they get here. But they actually came out to visit and loved it here. So we found a school, and we're trying to find a house and all those things. So step by step, one at a time.
You mentioned meeting with the coaches. Have you had many individual meetings with teams and coaches yet?
Yeah, I've met with some of the teams. More just because introduction. I met with softball and baseball and women's basketball, and eventually I'll get around to all the sports. And it's really more just to tell them a little bit about who I am and kind of how I'm thinking about things in the world, and wishing them luck, of course, if it's the start of the season, like as was the case with baseball and softball. But just want them to get comfortable with me, so that way if they, walk up and see me on campus, they kind of know, or they've at least seen me and they've heard me talk. And that's the fun part of the job, is when you get to know these kids. And, like I said, coming from someplace, having been there 14 years, I knew a lot of them. And so that'll be, I'm really looking forward to that here as well.
Well, that's the important thing. You don't want the coaches also to think, oh, here comes the boss looking over my shoulder, right?
Yeah.
They need to get to know you and get a feel as well.
Yeah, and it's not perfect. Like we were talking. I office in a 3-story building, and I was telling my wonderful executive assistant, I told her, I said, look, you should just block time off on the calendar so I can just walk. So I can just walk by people's desks and just say hi, because I've found that I haven't even been able to do that much. It's just been meeting after meeting after meeting and call after call, which is to be expected, but I want to also have a little more time just to kind of stroll. That bump in time, just in general, is just such a valuable thing when it's, unscripted and not on the calendar. So I want to make sure that I'm getting a chance to really kind of, understand from the staff and from coaches what's going well and what's not, and where we can improve.
One of the things you talked about improving, one of the big things when you first got here, of course, is Williams-Brice Stadium.
Yeah.
I guess give us an update on that, of your vision and I guess the next steps.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's actually perfect place to talk about it right here as this is the backdrop. But we've made some really good progress, I think, in the last few weeks. You saw the news just that. We've got approval to start with schematic design. The process, we brought on a group called Populous, which if you're listening at home, I would encourage our fans to look them up. They've done some really cool projects around the country that I've seen firsthand. They are, in my opinion, the gold standard. And so if we're going to do this project, let's do it well and let's get the best. And so that's going to be a consistent theme with other partners we potentially bring in. We want the best. I mean, our fans deserve it, our players deserve it, and so to really kind of unlock the potential of the stadium, we really need someone to be thinking about, not because it's interesting, right? When you're talking about a stadium project like this, yes, we need to generate more revenue from it. That's kind of an easy one, but the key is like preserving the history and traditions that are so unique to Williams-Brice Stadium, and also developing more. And so you've got the best stadium projects, I think, aren't a total redo. They capture those things and build from it. So obviously the west side is going to be, I don't want to call the easier of it, but we kind of know what the appetite looks like for suites and club seats and loge boxes. And so the key is, how does the east side fit into that, in the short term and the long term, and then what's beyond the east side? We've talked about that multi-use entertainment district. Is there a way you can kind of bring all that together and have it be one vision? We will look back on this, and this is really a transformational project. And I think if we do it well, all three things can be true. We can execute the west side well, and maybe even this end zone space. I know this is where the students sit, and it could use some love too, and so we'll kind of see. But I think there's a way that all three or four of those things could kind of be true. So what's the old saying? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, and so we've taken the first few steps, and we're well on our way.
Not to get too much into the weeds about it, but is the current structure of the stadium, does that lend itself to renovation without too much pain for fans or anything like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. You and I were talking about this before we started rolling about. I think whoever designed the stadium did a really nice job of, I don't know if future-proofing is the right word, but I thought before I got here and I'd heard that, there was discussions about renovating the stadium, that I thought we were going to have to take down these upper decks. Mm-hmm. And so I was relieved to know that wasn't the case because you could build premium into those spaces. And so, I think there's a way to do this with minimal loss of seats. We're also looking at a couple other options where I know it's really important to our fans that we don't lose capacity, and it is to me as well. I don't know that it's completely possible to not lose some seats, or where do you make those up? So we're working through all that. But what I was going to say is, as far as the disruption, we think it's probably a project that you could start after this next football season, but it probably goes through both seasons. I don't think there'll be a lot of disruption that the fans will see. So, a lot to do there. Still a long way to go, but we are, like I said, we are making really good progress.
Well, as part of that, obviously, you're going to be having conversations with donors, and I'm sure fans are always helpful in giving you their opinions.
Yeah.
So have you had many of those, whether it's donor conversations or just fans saying, hey, I got an idea?
Yeah, actually, yes, some solicited and some unsolicited, right? And they, I'm hearing a lot of the same themes, which are, preserving their traditions and those types of things, which are really super important, and we certainly will. And then there's some that have reached out about, they're interested in looking at suites and they want to know how big they are and all those things. And the answer is we don't know yet. We're building those things, we're designing those things. But that feedback's important. You want to make sure you're, we wouldn't be doing our jobs if we just built something and decided to sell it. We want the fans to have feedback into what it is, so we know that's what they want, and they'll ultimately, hopefully, buy it and support the program.
I mean, you've had a little bit of time to get your feet wet. What's next? What are some short-term goals?
Well, there's going to be the two things that we talked about aren't going anywhere, which is making sure we're ready for the House case. settlement to be approved and how that comes into place, because July 1 is really when the new rules will come into play, and so that's it's only a few months away, and then and we need to make a lot of progress here. There's a lot of kind of key deadlines with getting some approvals from the state and from our board, and obviously internally, and so we've got work to do.
You've never been afraid to put in the work. The extra early, extra late, extra work. Because you understand that education is the key that unlocks everything. Better pay, better hours, better opportunities, a better you. And playing the lottery is no different. Getting educated before you play gives you the tools you need to be a better player, like knowing when to play and when to take a rain check. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to be a better player.
Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP experience this baseball season. Visit usccontest.com and register for your chance to be Cocky's Game Day guest. Winners will get a special invitation to a game, an autographed baseball and ball cap, 2 premium tickets, a trip to the radio booth, and more. Visit usccontest.com to register today. Cocky's Game Day guest is brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance, here for all your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
Sound and Images has been providing the Midlands and South Carolina with professional audio-visual services for over 40 years. Now we're home to one of the most advanced venue and meeting spaces in the state. Experiencing the latest in video conferencing, live streaming, and virtual presentations at the new Sound and Images Business Center. We have space for every need, from smaller personal rooms to large rooms for conferences and events. Conveniently located just a few minutes from downtown. Elevate your AV and call Sound and Images today.
What does farm to table mean to you? Fresher, tastier food? Sitting down with family and friends at local restaurants? Sure, but thanks to South Carolina farmers and chefs, you can enjoy farm to table anywhere. That's because when you buy certified SC, you're supporting South Carolina farmers and getting locally grown food that's perfect for whatever table. So choose local, choose fresh. It's a matter of taste.
Gamecock Insider is brought to you by Prisma Health, the official healthcare provider of the Gamecocks, and by Backstreet's Grill. Join us every Thursday at Backstreet's Grill on Divine Street, where Carolina calls from 6 to 7 p.m. Visit backstreetsgrill.com to learn more about their unique food and drink options.
We're back to wrap things up on this week's edition of Gamecock Insider. It's time for our On the Road segment brought to you by our friends at Toyota. Tuesday night's going to be a busy night on the road for the Gamecocks. The men's basketball team travels to Baton Rouge to take on the Fighting Tigers of LSU. That is a 9 p.m. tip-off. Meanwhile, the Gamecock baseball team heads up I-77 to Rock Hill, where they will do battle with Winthrop. And we look forward to seeing how both sets of Gamecocks do on the road. Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. That'll wrap things up for us on this week's edition of Gamecock Insider. I'm Derek Scott. We'll see you again next week.
This has been an exclusive presentation from Learfield.